going on, everybody? This is your boy Ryan James, UPNO Music and Media. Just letting you guys know I will be on site in Mansfield Music Festival 2023, weekend of August 18th and 19th, streaming live out there. You can catch me out there interviewing some of your favorite bands and groups. Shout out to Austin Moore. This is a great event for the city, for the community, for the area of not only Richland County, but all surrounding areas. A lot of great bands, great music, great groups coming out. Catch some of your favorites out there, and you can catch me out there. Peace. What's going on, everybody? I am Ryan James, and this is UPNO Live. I am here with Danny Holmes, RDG, Dynasty Records. What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
How you doing, man? All right.
Feeling blessed. Feeling blessed.
So tell me, we're going to get right into it. Like, for those you don't know, this man has been, like, really on it, I could say on his job. He's been kind of taking over a lot of things here in the city, doing big things. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you got going. First of all, tell me, when did you get started doing this?
Well, I first started rapping. I want to say around 16. First, allow me to say too, it's a privilege. Like I was saying off camera, you always been an inspiration, your whole clique. So I just want to say that, pay homage to you.
For sure, appreciate that.
Now, I want to say I started beginning rapping at the age of 14.
Okay.
I took it seriously at the age of 16.
Got it.
That was around the time I met Tyrone Johnson,
Okay.
who was also my partner.
Okay.
With the television station and stuff. Tyrone, he had us in a group called the Hood Team.
Okay.
We started off as a Hood Team, and it was me. It consisted of me, Esav, and JD. And then we later branched off and became a group called FML, and that had a couple numerous cats in it.
I heard of FML. Yeah, I remember FML.
We actually we did a couple tracks with Nav, I believe. I know he had worked with you too.
Shout out to Nav.
Yeah, big shout out to Nav. And well, when I was around 18, I kind of broke apart, from I want to say the Hood Team, because we had a project, and Ty was trying to get us in the door with Def Jam. But when you present it to a person or a label, a big label like that, when you present it to them as you guys are a group, you all have to be on the same page. So if you're not on the same page, then they ain't gonna want. They're gonna say, hey, we didn't want Dynasty, or at the time I was D Thug. We don't want D Thug and East Ave. We want D Thug, East Ave, and JDP. That's what we had. Okay. So at the time, it was pretty much, if we couldn't get on the same page, they didn't want it. So
got it.
So I broke off. I became known then as D Thug, and I was that up until I want to say around the age of 20. Mm-hmm. But I recorded 2 albums. I just passed a CD out. This was before social media was big and everything went digital. So I'll say it started from 14 seriously when I was 16. Okay. And then up until I was like 22, and then I took a hiatus away from it. I was off for a little bit. Okay. Or it's about 25, I say I took a hiatus.
Got it. So let's talk about when you decided to return back to it and take things to like the level where we're at, managing to becoming like a business and kind of taking your love for just with the music and rapping and performing and going from that, putting other people in position. Let's talk about that.
Well, I was sitting up here, I want to say, this might be like 2.5, 3 years ago. And I was listening to the music scene. I had all the way, and I was talking to my wife Shaniqua at the time, and I was like, man, there's so many people that's doing music, and I want to get back into it. I was like, it's just so many people, and I remember she said, I think you should get back into it. She started encouraging me. I had linked back with Tyrone then, because he had moved to Columbus and he was doing his own thing. He's always been a businessman.
Right, for sure.
So he was doing his own thing then, and we was like, let's jump back in. Let's record a track. And I want to say about 3.5 years ago, from that point on, I got back in it, and my foot was on the gas, and I haven't let up since.
Cool, foot on the gas. So like I was listening to the new joint with you and Juice. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Juice, by the way. DJ Juice Productions.
That's my guy.
That's a dope track, man. It's just like it's a lot of it's animated. It's a lot of energy and things like that. Talk to me about the music you say you put out. Like, what do you want people to know about you by your music you put out?
I come up with music with substance. So I'm a real artist in the substance manner. So it's like the majority of my tracks I try to speak on things that's happened in my life. I just try to keep it real, you know.
Yeah.
Because we ain't always gotta talk about killing each other or doing this, and so I try to keep it to my life story. And then, sometimes, I still bring that little swagger. I've been kind of switching my style up a little bit to my older style, and I credit Juice for doing that.
That's dope. So when we talk about, like, the musical content, especially compared to what's going on today, I think the biggest thing is how we interpret it. It's like we may talk. People may put the shooting and killing and the dope and all that stuff in a rhyme, but I think it's the way we report it.
Yeah,
that's what I call it, reporting. Because it was a certain stage where, like when we were coming up. Now it was a certain. We when we first started 20 years ago. We were like, it was the mic. It's like boom, boom, boom. I ripped this and this is everybody. It was so much lyrical content. The pens was flowing.
Oh yeah.
But me being who I've always been, like being the CEO and the person who ran the unit, my team basically interpreted whatever lifestyle we was in. So when I went through a brief period where I was out in the streets like crazy, like the whole unit turned into that, like, because that's what they was around. So whatever we were talking about street stuff, we were talking about, it was real, it was lively happening, because the person who was literally in charge of everything and doing everything, the money and all that, they seen what I did. And it reflected in them. So it was the most, we didn't rap, it was rap, hustle, and everything else. But when we got older and we changed, and it changed things around, we was more experienced. So we could come to people and be like, we did that, like for real, but this is what we own now, and this is what you need to do. But don't ever get it twisted. But this is what we come from. And I just think as we get older, we start to become those people to say, hey, this is what we need to be doing. How do you feel about that?
Well, when you go into the way that music was then and stuff, because first it's entertainment at the end of the day too.
Yeah. It is entertainment. True. Yeah. When you go into the aspect of music, when you doing it, you wanna try to reach. Me personally, this is my formula. I try to reach every bit a expand the audience as I can. Yes.
And now the times have changed. I was always hearing, and which brought me back. It said, does hip hop like it existed before? Does it still exist to this day?
Exactly.
And I think that when it comes down to, I try to implement. You got to implement. You still got to keep up to date.
Yes.
But if you can find that formula to go up to date, mix with a little bit of my style that I went to, then boom, you got it.
Makes sense. It makes plenty of sense. So tell me about you in management. Tell me about what you got going on right now with managing.
Well, of course, I landed Empire Distribution.
Okay.
I got connections over with Sony and Universal too.
Okay.
People from there. When it's cool being able to manage a partner. So
okay.
I would say Nico Saucin she was the first that I started managing. So me and Ty managed me, and then we got into, and right now she's going crazy.
Yes.
And then I wanted to reach out and help other people too, because you got a lot of dope artists in Mansfield. So I was like, man, if I can just try to help other people get to where they get to, knowing that I had the connections that I have, knowing that I have the door, I'm the key. I mentioned in a Solid Night, I'm the key. I open up doors. I was dubbed by artists in Atlanta that I was cool with, and they said that's almost calling you the key. And it didn't have nothing to do with my hometown and nothing. It was just like, I was connecting different states and stuff. It's like you open up doors. So and I was like, let me start getting this talent that we have here, and allow people in the world to hear us. I want us to hear. We've always been heard anyway. We've always had people. I know with yourself. I wanted to leave Kai, I think back in the day, didn't he have a video on BT or something like that?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like we always had to do expansion.
Yep.
But I was like, man, I want to try to get my whole, you know, I want to get everybody, y'all.
Exactly. And you know what? It's crazy that you remember that, because that was throwback. But back then, man, it was like the mind, like you utilizing resources. And I always tell people, nothing is too far if you know how to talk to people and you utilize resources. It was things we pulled off. You know, Kai has a motion picture movie credit with the So Sick video. We worked with Robert Kurtzman, and he literally put Kai's video in a film. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And people to this day won't understand. It's like we have a film credit, to date, and it's like, and it's like, so I know what it means. You know what I mean? When we talk to people, make those connections, and it's all for just to put the talent out there. Like me, I stopped rapping a long time ago, and when I decided, I said, but I like to help people with the talent and bring them out. So I respect what you're doing by working with talent, managing people. Now, what are you finding different in this part of managing? What's some of the things that you may find difficult sometimes?
Well, you want to try to make sure that everybody feels like that you helping them. That you know, you don't want nobody to feel like you're not helping them. You don't want people to look at the situation and be like, man, right now he's putting too much time in this. So I let every artist know that here's the opportunity. I put it down on there. You know, here's the opportunity. Do y'all want it? Right now, I have everybody that I manage. We all about to race the cover of a magazine, the front page cover of it, and they all have articles. So, you know, I reached out to them. Would you like to be interviewed for this? All of them was down for it. I said, boom, we gonna get there. You know, so it can get hectic sometimes. You got to juggle, especially if you're doing multiple things. But focusing is the main key.
Exactly. So, and more about another question I got about the managing is, tell me like the piece that you're playing between the artist and, you know, let's talk about recording, putting out albums. Tell me like what piece do you play between them and that? Like we say manager, but like talk about what generally you do. Are you one responsible for putting their music out and running it through the distribution? You know what I mean? Let's talk about that.
So, yes, well, you know, every artist that I manage, because I got two, you know, things. I can manage an artist for a year. I can manage them month by month. Now, I tell them if I manage you month by month, you automatically going to get an album through the distribution, the Empire, or one of the labels that I work with. The year, you know, they can put a whole album through, and we work with them on it, you know. So, you know, I mean, it's just pretty much running through, and then you got to follow the guidelines. So, like, I learned, because like I said, I wasn't never expecting to get the distribution. The number we had the number. It was sent to Niqua. She didn't even know who he was, and we contacted the guy, and boom. So, you know, but he played, the guy he told us at the time, he was like, man, it's for a small market. So he wasn't really doing, you know, but I pushed him. I said, well, listen, here's the picture. We have a lot of artists. I sent him a couple artists. I said, if you give us a chance to showcase the talent, we won't let you down. And I said a lot of other good stuff too. But
that's dope.
But yeah, so I mean, I played it. When it comes to playing the part with the distribution and stuff, you just want to make sure that you got the artists together and what they say, because it's guidelines. You know, they want to know who made the beat. They want to know who, if they registered with ASCAP and BMI. I helped a lot of people that have managed that they didn't even know what that was. And I'm like, you know, so. It's a criteria you gotta follow.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Let's tell me what artists we working with right now.
Well, right now we just got oh my goodness, I can't think of her name. Cash Roulette. The Cash Roulette,
Cash Roulette.
Then we got Robin the Plug.
Okay.
We have I'm gonna say Brian Papillion. If he sees this and I mess his name up, he's gonna kill me. So, I mean, and I have one named Forrest Winter. And I got a slew of them. I gotta look at my whole entire, because I just picked up quite a few. But right now I'm managing, I'll say up to 10. I'm at 10 and I'm taking on 5 more. And I'm in the talks, you know, with managing a few other. I know I talked to the good brother. Gotti Gambino.
Okay.
Yeah, Gotti Grams, I think that's what I ain't go by. He's a good talented person, so I like his music.
Yeah, exactly. Dope, man. Dope. I love it. I love the fact that, you know what I mean, you're putting all this together and you putting these artists, you know what I mean, trying to put them in position and getting them in position while also still going after yours. You know, exactly. So it's definitely when you know, to maintain yours and then putting them in a position, that's definitely a challenge.
And I try to manage. I manage every genre. So we got an RDG rock, RDG country, RDG gospel. I just picked it. I was gonna make Tyrone the president of RDG gospel. You know, because he made me a CEO of RDG. You know, I own that company now, but he wanted to take a fall back and work on a TV station and his wife's clothing company. Yeah. So I just handpicked another guy to run RDG gospel. I'm excited about that. Okay. And I picked the president to run RDG rock. Currently looking for somebody to run RDG country. Oh, to speak. So,
you covering all bases. Yeah, covering all bases. So, what's the goal?
My goal is, you know, and like I said, to connect, because it don't just stop with one person. You know, I have services from photography, training to shoot videos and stuff. So my goal is to network with people in my city and connect to where we are. They don't just think about Cleveland or Columbus. When you mention somebody, you want you to be in Atlanta and be like, man, them cats in Mansfield, Ohio, they make noise down there, you know, because we got just as much talent as anybody in any other state do. So, you know, unify Mansfield, be a big, not just in music, but in everything, podcasting, TV stations coming here, every single thing that we just be known, and we big in the market. So, you know, that's my vision, that's my goal. They know who he is.
Exactly. So what's your next moves for, like, I hear you was telling me about you guys are getting ready to, you know, establish a base of operation here in the city. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, we found our headquarters. It'll be located at the Braintree building. So when we started open, it was a photography company, management company. Me and Shaniqua, we also act. So I got connections.
Definitely.
I got connections with that. So I'm gonna also have a talent agency that will be able to book people. We manage actors, and then we also got placement for them to be in movies that'll be on Amazon Prime. To be just big stuff like that. We got the TV channel going off. Like I said, I got the camera business. You know, I have to learn that technique, but I probably get somebody to do that. Yeah. So, you know, we doing a lot. We running a gospel section, like I said, country and rock. We're just doing a lot of stuff, man.
So wow. So like that right there. So how do you maintain on top of all this stuff you got? What seems like you got a lot going on. How do you maintain living, like the basics right now? Because we're chasing, because we're going after what we got to go after. You know what I mean? Chasing our music and entertainment dreams and getting there, and we're working on it. But like the day-to-day things that you go through, you know, and I've recently heard a few things, you know, your health got a little bit weary, you know. So how do you manage that? How do you, between all the stuff you're doing, how do you take a time back to manage Danny?
Well, you know, you got to stay focused, and that's the thing. You got to focus on your health. You got to focus on every single thing. And it seems like when you doing something like this, it's rather the devil try to throw stuff at you. Yeah. You got clout chasers that try to throw stuff at you to, you know, try to tear you down and make you look bad. Yeah. You got all this stuff that gets thrown at you, and at the end of the day, you just gotta try to focus, and you gotta do it one step at a time. Yeah. So, you know, my biggest problem when I first started doing this is I was trying to handle everything at once. Yeah. You gotta, today I'm gonna work on this, tomorrow I'm gonna work on this, tomorrow I'm gonna work on this. If you got that formula where you know that you can pick something that works for you, and then focus on stuff like health, your life, everything, and you can manage it. It's
prioritize.
Yeah, definitely. I think having a team, you don't have to have a team of many, but it's good if you have a team. Yeah. Because they can help you conquer your goals, and you know.
Teamwork always makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
And you said something about, you know, you say, you know, you got the haters and the doubters. Talk about when we in Mansfield, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about the haters.
Well,
Let's talk about the hate you've been getting as you rise to where you got to be. Let's talk about that.
Well, just recently, and it's crazy because there was something that came to my attention today.
Okay.
And, it was somebody on, and I'll go live about that later on today.
For sure.
Because I try to stay professional as I can, but sometimes people, you got to defend your name.
Yes.
But, somebody, they made a post. It was brought to my attention. They made a post and stuff like that. And even in my life, I won't mention their name because that's what they do. They want clout. They want to be known so that they can get a rise and, and get somewhere. But when we first started doing music, we was laughed at. So it was like Shaniqua was laughed at. I was. And then, as we looked, it was crazy. Ironic because we started looking at people that started liking our stuff. And it was like, man, they used to laugh at us. Man, and they used to do this. They used to try to down us. So at the moment of time, a hater became a fan. And and you always got people feel like it's a competition. It's never a competition with me because whatever you doing, I'm gonna rise. You can rise in your lane. And I hate the biggest thing that I hate, and I move along. But I hate when I see people make these posts. It'll make me not work with people that do this. They'll make a post and they'll say, well, this person did this person bought views, this person do. We have to learn not to pay attention and worry about what somebody else do to rise. Everybody had their own formula, man. You gotta have your own formulas.
And what I believe in having your own formula is having your own business mind. Nobody understands what it takes, especially in this business, to get to where you want to be. You got to make those sacrifices for you. It's like people understand. Like I don't live for nobody else. You know what I mean? I live. You know what I mean? I live for myself and my family and God. And that was the main thing. And so what we choose to do in our business, and however we got to get there, maybe think different minds don't. If you know what it needs to take is streams and stuff like that, or different connections. Like me, coming into this media game, one thing I'm learning is it's like one, you got to step out. Like I used to have a very horrible problem with social anxiety because me working in corrections for over 7 years. So I would get home not want to deal with nobody. But now, as I'm without the company working for Ohio Health, I have to network anyway. So now it's like doing this. It's the social anxiety cutting and coming out. Now I'm ready to talk to people. I'm doing stuff like this, every week, and it takes that. And it's like I can't worry about people. And the same thing as you, as hard as you work, and your dreams and goals, it's like people's gonna constantly knock you down, and you can't let it. You know what I mean? You got to keep pushing because wherever, like you said, a lot of haters turn to fans, and they all gonna be fans in a minute. When you get to that top, when you get to the point where it's relevant for everybody to be your fan, then they gonna be like, you're like that's what it took, and that's how it is in Mansfield. In my opinion, sometimes it's relevant when it's relevant for everybody else.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's relevant when it's relevant for everybody else.
I agree.
Dope, man. I appreciate everything you doing. So what's next? We got shows coming up. You, Nikwa, what's going on?
She recently canceled the show she had on the 15th to help focus on her health and minds too. But you guys will probably remember. Well, I know a lot of the older cats remember Mr. Sargon from
Yes.
That's her first paid show. Because that's my goal. When I manage every artist, my goal is to get them to get paid.
Monetary.
So that's she's gonna be one of his headliners for that show. That'll be in Cincinnati.
Sweet.
We got shows coming up in the future with Glorilla, who's doing her thing, and a couple other people, ESTG. We got, we working on a documentary movie. We'll have movies we coming out in plays. We coming out with albums. I'll be working on, and the reason why I call this my last album, but when I mentioned that, so many people, I got a perception like this can't be your last one. More Than Music is my last album. And the reason why I said that so I can focus on behind the scenes. I want to focus on my artists, my company, and my business. But More Than Music, I got that. They don't re-release that yet, but it'll be a documentary. I come out with that as well. So we getting footage for all that stuff. We got videos coming up. We working.
Big seem like a big summer coming ahead for RDG and Dynasty. Appreciate it. Once again, this is UPNO Live. Thank Danny Holmes for coming on the show with me. You guys be easy. Check out his new album coming soon, More Than Music. Check out everything RDG's got going. This man is everywhere, and he's killing it right now. Brother, I want to thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you, fam.
All right, we'll be seeing you guys. Peace.